What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to have a talk yet again about games being announced too early and what is like the prime time when you should announce a game, and just kind of how I feel about that. With the Game Awards and with all those games that were announced and all these videos that I'm making, really these kind of discussions I think continuously come up. I think sometimes people don't really understand what I'm saying in certain videos. For example, things like The Witcher or even Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, which I have to say very slowly because it's a hard name to say. For games like that, I was saying in videos, some of my biggest critiques or complaints with those games is simply the length of when they show it to when the game actually comes out. I think some people miss that, or they just don't care and they don't listen to me, whatever it might be. But I thought I would make, a good discussion. I have talked about it before, but I assume it's been a couple years at this point. So look, where I stand right now in terms of aging and in terms of, where I'm at kind of in my life. And here's the thing, and this is something that kind of came into my head. I saw a couple comments on this. I really think we're at a boiling point with a lot of people and what they expect from trailers. And now, not everybody's the same. Some people's expectations for a trailer is going to be different than others. But, okay, so let's take a look at a couple examples, right? When you have Intergalactic. For me, there's an expectation that I have, and I know because people have said, well, think about the first trailer for The Last of Us. Think about the first trailer for Uncharted. That's fine. But I feel like comparisons I don't really care about comparisons right now. And that's not to discount them. That's just to say where I am in my life and where I am with looking at all of these games that have gotten trailers. I'm tired of them being done in a certain way. So it really, I guess maybe there are comparisons because it's like, okay, I know it's been like this up until this point, but I'm kind of tired of it. And then people are like, well, Alex, it's been like this for a while. But the thing is, then you look, okay, again, an example. When it comes to Intergalactic, that game is in development for 4 years, right? So it's a little bit different than a game like Wonder Woman or a game like Blade, games that maybe got started the day before, they freaking showed the trailer. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but they start very close to the trailer, right? Now, Intergalactic is a little bit different. This is a game that's been in the works for 4 years. My expectations are different. They just are. And the biggest problem I had with that trailer is just, yes, it's in-engine. And that is something that kind of made it unique and maybe breaks the mold a little bit because it's not like this highly polished CG trailer that's not even going to be in the base game. No, you could actually tell it was a Naughty Dog game based off how they look, how the characters look. And I know people were making jokes even about like the tattoos and stuff, but just the in-engine stuff, you could say, oh, okay, that seems like a Naughty Dog game because really, it's kind of rare that those type of things even make it in a game. All right. So that's fine. But at the same time, 4 years it's been in development, and that's the trailer you lead with. It just didn't. Now, there was other issues with that, and we talked about that in the video. But that was my expectation. My expectation was I needed to see part of what they showed, but I needed more based off of the length that they were making the game. Okay, now looking at another example of The Witcher, right? So Witcher, I actually thought was a pretty darn good trailer overall, but you have the game probably coming out, at least 2-3 years from now, right? You're probably going to have to wait 2-3 years. And so, again, it's not a terrible one, right? We've had games that 4 or 5 years from the trailer to the time the game comes out. It's not the most egregious example, but it's something that I said in those videos, and I said, after the Game Awards happened, my most, the ones that really stood out to me, okay, the trailers that stood out to me in the Game Awards were things like Dispatch, which was that former Telltale group that is making the game with Aaron Paul and Laura Bailey. That game was a big one. Split Fiction, I think, easily was the best thing that I saw in terms of just like wow factor. And I said this there, and I'll say it here too. Where I'm at right now with game trailers is a mix of a couple different things, okay? I need substance. I need like actual things in that trailer. And by that, I mean I need to see both the excitement of why do I need to get into this game, but you also need to show me the game. And when I say show me the game, I'm talking about the actual game, the gameplay, because I'm just at a point where the CG stuff, and especially because a lot of that stuff does not make it in. Now, the thing like with The Witcher 4, right? They talked about that was a quest. That was a side quest, and that is in the game. I believe they did the same thing for Cyberpunk as well. That's really cool. And so, in a way that kind of breaks the mold a little bit, right? But most times, you'll get these, again, heavily cinematic CG trailers, and they might set something up. You think even of, like, I think Uncharted 4, right? When he wakes up, like, on the beach, and, you hear in the background, you hear the conversation with him and Sully about, like, will you do this for me one last time or one more time? And I freaking love that tagline, and they mention it at the end of Uncharted 4, but that scene is not in the game. Now, again, a little bit different, a little biased because I freaking love Uncharted. But going back to what I was saying, right? Where I'm at right now is I need to see the game. That's why Split Fiction, I think, works so well, because it looked really, really cool. It showed me the game itself, okay? Like, there was, there's the lead up by, Joseph Fares and stuff, but it showed the actual video game. And then it comes out in 3 months. Now, he said 2. I do believe March is 3 months away from right now. So, I mean, like 2.5 maybe by the time journalists and stuff get it, but 3 months away. Now, I'm not opposed to seeing games early. And I've said this before. This is, again, where I think people just don't really listen to me or don't listen to all of what I say. I get it. I get why you show games 3-4 years ahead. I get you're looking for talent. I get it could be like investor type things. I understand it. I understand it. And, there is a part of me that likes to know. Actually, there's a huge part of me, if you can't tell from the channel. I do like to know what's coming. Like, I have that kind of mind where it's a schedule type mind. Let me know what games are coming out in 2025. And if you can let me know as early as possible, that'd be great. That is me. Okay. So it's not like I don't get it. And it's not like I flat out hate them. I'm just talking about kind of what connects to me the most. And again, it's why I think, okay, Game Awards, Dispatch, I think looked really cool. And again, why for that? Well, they showed you actually a lot of in-game stuff there, and that's the game. It looked cool. So again, it's got like, it connected with me, okay? Like, I like the look of it. Then it actually had what the game was itself, and then it comes out in 2025. So I'm not waiting 2, 3, 4 years from it, right? And I mean, honestly, I talk about Witcher and Intergalactic. I'll give you other examples of like Okami, and then the game from the maker of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. Those two. Let's look at those two examples. That robot one from Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, that looked unbelievable. Like, I don't really know what was going on in that trailer, but it looked awesome, okay? And I'm not saying it'd be a bad game. Now, The Last Guardian was definitely all over the freaking place, but I overall actually liked it. But the thing is, they don't even have a name. They don't even have, I was going to say they just started making it, and well, that connects too, right? They just started. They've got nothing besides what they showed, and they don't even have a freaking name for the video game, and yet you're going to show it off. And it's simply off the back of his name. That's it. Like, you care about it because of what he's done in the past. It's a cool idea. Like, I guess you can base it off of the 30 seconds that they showed, but is that going to keep you engaged with this game for the next 5 years while they make it? No, it's really about the potential, and the potential of what? Well, the potential of what he's made before and what he can make. Okami 2, like, that's sweet. Like, Okami is a great game, and it's a special one to a lot of people. So, like, seeing that they're, doing it and bringing him back and all that jazz. Again, it just started, I think, full production, so it's probably 3-4 years away. Like, you know what I mean? And again, that can be exciting, and it did excite me to a degree. The Witcher 4 excited me to a degree, but then it's like, I can't hold that enthusiasm for 3 years. And maybe I probably used to. I mean, I used to go off of just rumors for, like, Hogwarts Legacy when it was the Harry Potter game, and I did that for, like, 2-3 years before it was even announced, and then we did 2 more years or 3 more years before the game actually came out. So it's not like I've never done it. It's not like it's not possible, and again, like, there can be like a balance, and I can do it at times. I'm just saying one more time what I prefer. I know there's going to be games that you're going to see 3-4 years ahead of when they come out. I know there's going to be games that you see 2 years ahead of when they're going to come out. I would just say I think it's done the best, and I think it has the most impact, at least to me, when it's just something close, right? Because there's also that close factor. When I know I can play Split Fiction in 3 months, okay, that's already there. You know what I mean? If, say, you know the release date before you see the trailer. Okay, 3 months, that's nothing, right? Okay, now let's see the trailer. Oh my God, that looked really good. And you showed me the game. Well, you have to show me the game because it's coming out in 3 months. And then we're actually going to get to play it super soon, right? So it kind of has all of the parts of what makes a trailer special to me, like, in the moment. But that's a tough thing. Again, I'm not saying, like, you have to do it one way. I'm just saying what I prefer. When it comes to really any Jeff Keighley show, when it comes to PlayStation events, when it comes to Xbox events, Capcom, when they showed Pragmata, and then it comes out, maybe 7 years after they show whatever it's going to end up being, I understand, and I do want to be excited, 3-4 years. And I'll also say this, right? I think it also kind of depends on what specific game you're talking about and when in the generation does it come out. So I guess what I mean by that, when you're making the next generation of consoles, which it's crazy to say out loud, but like we're 4 years in, and we probably only have another 3 or so years to go. We're going to get eventually to the talk of the next generation of consoles. That is something you do need to push the future. That is something that you need to know years 1, 2, maybe even 3 of the next gen of consoles as quickly as possible. And does that mean showing a game 3-4 years ahead of time? It does, but it's also, and I get this one more than I think anything else, right? Where it's like this is the push. This is, we want you to invest in a $600 console, and we know you're not going to do it for one game, so let's show you like 6, 7 games, but they're coming out years 1, 2, 3. These are games further out, but we want you to know they're coming because we want you to be invested in our ecosystem. And I get that. I think from a business perspective, and even just literally as a person, even as a consumer, I actually do want that. They're thinking about it, I think, in that way, but I also would be thinking about it that way, right? You want to buy a PS6, you want to buy the next Xbox. Why? Do you have games for the next 2 or 3 years that you're going to show off? And that means you have to show games 2, 3, 4 years ahead. So when they do it for that, I get it. But it's also just something that, when you go into, and I said this, it was on my bingo board. I actually have the picture still on OBS. On my bingo board, I made a prediction that was 2 games, 2026, at least 2 games, 2026 or later would be shown at the Game Awards. I think I nailed that easily because Witcher is easily 26 or later. The game from Ico Shadow of the Colossus, easily. Okami, easily. That's just 3 off the top of my head immediately, right? There's definitely more, but that was just 3, and that was just kind of immediate, right? So there you go. I predicted it. I put it in my bingo board, and it's because it's natural. It's because every time there's going to be games that they're going to show. In fact, didn't Jeff Keighley start the show by talking about not only are we going to show you games in 2025, and there's a lot of them, but we also want to show you what's beyond. He said that, I want to say, within the first 5 minutes. So it's like, and again, I don't, when he does that, I don't shut off the stream. I don't say, well, that's it. I'm not going to care. There is a sense to me that cares. From me as a consumer, from me as a gamer, from me as a content creator, of course I care. Of course I care. But I have different levels of care. And it may, especially maybe as I get older or whatever, and it just, as I see these more often, like I've said in the past, in these videos for Witcher and stuff, like Kingdom Hearts takes its toll on you. When it does this 2 times now with 3 and then with 4. Wolf Among Us, when it gets announced in 2018 originally, and then all this stuff happens. When you have so many, and that's just, Star Wars Eclipse, Wonder Woman, so Wolverine, so many games. When you get all these games that they get shown off and then they don't show up for 3, 4, 5 years, it eventually, at least to me it has, because at least because I pay attention to it. Not everybody does, and that's okay. But for me, it's like, eventually, I don't care as much. There's no reason. Why would I get invested in Wonder Woman as much when I have to wait 4 or 5 years for it to come out? Now, do I still kind of do that anyway? Yes, to a degree, but not all the way. I'll tell you this as kind of the final example and as the closer here of this video. I'm more excited for Split Fiction than I am for pretty much any other game that was shown at the Game Awards. Now, it's also quality, but I'm more excited for it than like The Witcher 4. Now, at the end of the day, The Witcher 4 might be the better game, and it might be the game that I like more, okay? 3 years from now, when I've played The Witcher 4 and I've played Split Fiction, I could tell you, what, I actually preferred The Witcher 4. But right now, by, I would say 10 times at least, I am more excited for Split Fiction over Witcher, not because of the trailer, not because of like, oh, the Witcher 4 trailer was bad, simply because it's a good trailer, but it's 3 years out. So I can't get, you know what I mean? I'm going to put Split Fiction over it, because why am I going to put a game that's coming out 3 years from now? Why am I going to get more excited for that than the game that comes out in 3 months? And I happen to just really like, Joseph Fares and all that stuff. But that's kind of a biasness. All right, so that's kind of all I want to talk about in this video. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.